Hey, hey, hey. Can you guys see me okay? I'm going to make some adjustments while I'm waiting for people to get here. This angle seems a little bit weird, so please excuse me if I'm still making some changes while you're logging on for me. Let's see. We're going to elevate this a little bit. Just a second. Excuse all the noise. I'm trying to make some adjustments behind the scenes here so we can get some better height, better angles. No, that didn't work. Maybe I'll just hold it like this. Okay. So I'm going to wait for people to get here so that we can do our Q&A. Weddings are exciting, so hopefully we'll get some great questions from the audience. See what's what here. 8 o'clock, there's no Empire, no Star. What else is on Wednesdays that people watch? Well, all those shows are ending, so there's no excuse not to stop in and see Randy from Trilogy Event Design. So let's see, and give it a couple more seconds, maybe, not really even minutes. And while we're doing that, I'm just going to kind of keep track of some things on the side over here. All right, so how's everybody doing? Y'all doing good? Empire. All right, so let me just talk a little bit while we're waiting. I am Randy Martin, the Chief Event Planner at Trilogy Event Design, owner and operator. I have been planning weddings professionally since 2006. However, I planned my very first wedding in 2003. Went to Temple University to get my certification in wedding planning and consulting. Then I interned with another wedding planning company so that I could learn what I was supposed to be doing before it was time for me to go off and do things on my own. So in 2006, I started a company called Always Fabulous Events. A few years ago, Always Fabulous Events merged with a graphic design company called Little Woman Design, and we became Trilogy Event Design. So that is a long story short. Now I am the chief event planner, the owner of Trilogy Event Design. I speak professionally on stages throughout the tri-state area. That would be Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Speaking with the bridal event by Boucher Productions. So I'm on stage giving fabulous wedding planning tips to hundreds of people every Sunday, basically, from September through May. So now that it is June, I wanted to continue with my weekly Q&A sessions for all of those who don't get to come to the bridal shows because we're off season, because it's actually time for everybody to have their weddings now. So since we're off season, we are just going to do this on Facebook. So we have a summer series. We did it last summer. We're going to do it again this summer, where every week we're going to get online on Facebook Live to answer your questions about planning your wedding. So hopefully you will be tuning in more than just today. You can ask some questions now, come back again next week, ask more questions. We can kind of talk a little bit about how you're progressing. Maybe you'll decide that you need to come in and see me in my studio. So I'm located in Hatboro, Pennsylvania, about 10 minutes away from Willow Grove Mall. I have an office right on York Road, so you can come schedule an appointment to come and see me so we can talk about planning your wedding. So as I'm starting to see that we're getting a few people to pop in, I'm just going to start talking, and then you can type in the comments below to say, hey, Randy, I'm here, so I can see you and I can shout you out. Maybe we'll get into a little bit of conversation, but this may be a dead subject, but I have to just put this out there. About the royal wedding. So, were you inspired by Meghan Markle's ideas for her wedding? So she had, pastel colors and a bunch of children in her wedding party as opposed to adults. They carried her train and held her long cathedral length veil so that she could walk down that mile-long aisle to her prince. What inspires you about that type of stuff? So many people wanted to watch the royal wedding because it was the wedding of the year. Absolutely, no, without a doubt, it was the wedding of the year. But why? Why were you watching it? Hey, Dawn, I see you. Dawn, hey. So yeah, what actually inspired you about Meghan Markle's wedding? There were some things that were unexpected, right? So some of the things about her wedding were not what we are used to for a royal wedding. Definitely, the princesses before her did not have a Baptist church choir singing at their wedding, or an African American minister talking about world affairs during their wedding ceremonies. So those were definitely different. So have you thought about what you might do for your wedding that's a little bit non-traditional but customized for your personality? Like, you and your fiance are not every other couple, right? So you want to do some things that are different, that are unique, that make you stand out as a couple. There are some couples that are known for doing certain things, like maybe they met while they were scuba diving in Australia. I don't know, I'm just picking something. So things about their wedding may be reminiscent of the time that they spent together in Australia scuba diving. Or maybe your families are from different cultures, so you want to have something that represents your culture and his culture, and the two of you coming together are going to have blended celebrations all the time, so your wedding would be the first one to kick off those types of celebrations. So what is it about you that makes you special that you want to include in your wedding? Think about that a little bit. There are some things that may just be unique spins on some old customs, like the Unity candle. So the Unity candle is not really something that's brand new. People have been doing that for years and years and years. But lately, within the past few years, we've had the sand ceremonies. So you're combining two different color sands into one vessel, which represents the unity, the combining of your lives, of your new relationship together that is now binded as one. So when, if you ever pour the sand out, once you have poured the two sands together, if you ever pour them out, there's no way that you can separate them again. So let's say you have blue on one side and red on the other side, and when you blend them together, you have a very pretty mix of the blue and the red sands. But if you were to try to pour it out and into the individual vessels again, you'll always get some red in the blue and some blue in the red. So there's no way that you would be separated. That's supposed to symbolize what it means to get married. You're joining your families, you're becoming one unit, and there's no way that that can be separated. How about there's this other thing that's like a unity cross, or I've also heard of a unity heart. It's sort of a big puzzle. So you have multiple pieces that are being put together, one representing the bride, one representing the groom, or the groom and the groom, or the bride and the bride, whatever the couple may be. But you have one piece that represents one person, another piece that represents the second person, and then when you combine the two pieces, they make something else that is beautiful and unique, because they were not the same separate. So those are also really pretty. I did a wedding once that had the unity cross, and it was not just a religious symbol, but it was a symbol of their unity. It was beautiful. Tying the knot. So I happen to know a fabulous officiant. Hi, Gwen. I know a fabulous officiant named Jill Megerman, and she demonstrates during our bridal shows how tying the knot is a symbol of the unity. So you take a braided rope or perhaps ribbon, and you kind of tie the bride and groom's hands together loosely into a pretty knot, and then when they take their hands away, the knot is still intact, and then this is something that they can display at a later time. Just want to give another shout out. Hi, Melanie, I see you there. You guys feel free to ask me questions, even if you're not planning a wedding or you're planning a party or something else. Ask me questions so that I can make sure that I'm addressing the things that you want to hear about. So right now we're talking about ways that we can create some new traditions or customize weddings so that they're not the typical thing that everybody has always seen. Another thing that I'm starting to notice is that jumping the broom always has been an African American tradition. It's a custom that goes back to the days of slavery, and I have started to see where other cultures, Americans of different backgrounds, not African American, are starting to jump the broom. I'm curious to know what people think about that. Is it something that we welcome other cultures adopting, or is it something that we're thinking that should be held sacred because of the past that is associated, the history that's associated with jumping the broom? Curious to know what you guys think about that. Stephanie Blue, hi. You've been following me on Instagram. Awesome. We've been talking about some different ways that wedding customs and traditions can be customized for couples. So if you have some questions about that, feel free to post it. Or if you want to ask questions about a different type of event, like a party or some other celebration, definitely post them so that I'm addressing the things that you want to hear about. So back to what I was saying. What do you guys think about the jumping the broom? I personally think that it is it's interesting to me that other cultures are starting to pick up on it, because it has been centuries where African Americans have been doing it. So yes, Melanie, I agree. I would be curious as well to find out whether they're doing it just because it's cute for the wedding. It's, the broom is decorated really pretty and they want to just do it, and, they think it would be fun to jump over it, or if there is some other symbolism to them that's deep and meaningful. Gwen thinks that it should be kept in the African American culture. I can see why that would be a consideration. So, it's like I said before, there's history behind it. There's a special meaning to the people who have done it before us. So, yeah, that's interesting to see that there's other cultures that are starting to adopt it. But as Americans, we have adopted other things that are from different cultures as well. So I'm not surprised that this is being adopted by other people. It's just kind of interesting to me to see it happening. All right, so let's talk about some other things, like the bouquet and garter toss. So this is something that people have done for a long time, but I'm really seeing more often than not that people are not doing the bouquet and garter toss anymore. So one reason is because none of the guys ever want to catch the darn garter. Like you have all of the women crowding the dance floor so that they can catch the bouquet. And then when it comes time for the garter, you might have 3 guys that are on the dance floor to catch the garter. And when the garter comes their way, they're like, whoa, they're like dodging it and ducking so that they never catch it. So what's the point? It kind of defeats the purpose. You have these women that are ready to scratch each other's eyes out to get the bouquet, and the guys that never want to catch it. So there's that second part of the bouquet and garter toss that is missed because the guys aren't catching it. So, yeah, yes, it's antiquated, Gwen. You're absolutely right. And it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous when, you see how some of the women behave, right? Some of the women are just so bad when it comes to trying to catch the bouquet. They have lost all levels of etiquette and decorum, and they become like, barroom brawlers just to catch some flowers. So some alternatives to that are, of course, you can skip it all together and just have more time to dance, or the anniversary dance is so much more sophisticated and meaningful. Have any of you guys ever seen the anniversary dance? Do you know what I'm talking about? Oh, I see that Michael Magro and Orion are watching, and they are former Trilogy event design partners. So hey guys, thanks for joining. Yeah, Gwen, I agree. It's time to do new things or just don't do it. So the new thing, the anniversary dance. So the anniversary dance is where all of the married couples that are at the wedding get called onto the dance floor. So the DJ will play a special song. Of course, the bride and groom will pick this song in advance, but it's a special song that is played for the bride and groom, as well as all of the rest of the married couples. They all get onto the dance floor, and then the DJ starts to call the number of years that people have been married. So for example, anybody who's been married for 24 hours or less, please leave the dance floor. So of course, that's the bride and groom. They get to sit down first. The purpose is that you end up calling off 5, 10, 15 years of marriage until the last couple that's standing is the only couple that has been married the longest time, and they will receive a bouquet. It could be what would have been thrown. The woman will get a bouquet. And then that couple can tell our newlyweds the secret to their longevity. So what has kept them married for so long? Sometimes it's really humorous. Like the groom may be grandpa, and grandma and grandpa have been married for 50 years, and they still together. You remember that from In Living Color, right? So they've been married forever and ever and ever. Hey, Maddie. Grandma and grandpa married forever, and they're now going to tell the bride and groom the secret to their long marriage. So it could be never go to sleep angry, or your wife is always right. That's my favorite. Happy wife, happy life. It could be as simple as that, or it could be something that's like real deep and profound. But it's always nice to hear what message the older couple gives to the younger couple. If there's a video at the wedding, it is amazing. Oh my gosh, Stephanie, 68 years. Stephanie's grandparents have been married for 68 years. That is incredible. I love it. That's amazing. So you'll definitely have to ask them what their reason was for staying together, or what their secret was for staying together. So I'm reading your other message now about having been engaged for 3 years. Wow. Okay. You've been a bridesmaid 14 times, so you're almost at that 27 dresses like the movie, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm going to try to read the rest of your message here. I can't. Hold on. Oh, the only part that I wasn't missing was about the bankruptcy. Okay, so yeah, trying to do something different is always a challenge, because if you've been to a lot of weddings, you kind of been there, done that, seen everything. But if you think about what makes you special as a couple, I'm sure that you can find some things to incorporate in your wedding that nobody else has done, whether it's a song, a dance, the way that you name your tables. There's something. Yeah, your grandparents got married in their kitchen. You know what? Sometimes the simplest ways are the best ways, because they didn't end up fighting over how much money the wedding cost, and they probably were like, okay, we're married now, let's move on, time to have some kids, right? That is so special. I'm so happy for them. Please give them hugs and kisses just for me for being married for 68 years. That's amazing. All right, so Gwen, you don't like the anniversary dance because that's isolating the single folks, and the wedding should be all inclusive. It's just one dance. It's not the whole day. It's like, instead of saying all the single people get onto the dance floor and scratch each other's eyes out to catch this bouquet, we're going to honor the people who are married and just do a different spin on this tradition about how the flower gets passed on. But, you know, the rest of the time you can do something else that's for the single people, right? I hope you agree with me. I hope so. All right, so hi Pauline. Good to see you joined in too. Okay, anybody else have other questions? You want to go to a wedding where the order is reversed? Melanie, tell me more about that. What does that mean to you? I'm not sure what order is reversed or how that works out. Yeah, so what questions do you guys have? I want to answer your questions instead of kind of just throwing ideas out there and seeing what sticks. Sometimes the smaller bridal party is what makes your wedding more unique too. So, you know, instead of having 10 people on each side, you can focus on like really having special moments with the people that mean the most to you by having just those people be in your wedding party. So you have like 3 on each side, maybe. And then that way you also are saving money. So part of that bankruptcy thing for Stephanie is having too many people involved in the bridal party, having too many guests, because you are paying for more of everything when you have a large wedding. If you keep it simple and intimate and really keep it to the people who mean the most to you, you can save a lot of money and also have an event that means a lot more sentimentally. All right. Gwen is planning your 50th birthday party this summer. No way. Oh, that's awesome. I see glitter and sparkle and all kinds of fabulosity. Your grand entrance. Okay, so let's just say that maybe you are arriving, you're not driving yourself there, so you're arriving in either a town car or a limo or something like that. Definitely a red carpet with maybe some sparklers or something like that. Confetti cannons. Am I going too crazy? You know, just something amazing. And definitely you need theme music. So Gwen, what song can you think of that like really represents how fabulous you are going to feel at 50? I know that you have had like such an incredible story to your life so far. So what theme music will you have? It has to be something that is like, Gwen's here, Gwen's here. Yes. I just think that it needs to be like, you know, big lights, big music, something that gets everybody's attention, turn your way, you know, some grand announcement. That's just my opinion. I'm Every Woman, absolutely. Just the intro to I'm Every Woman without even the words playing is enough to get everybody hyped. I need to be there. All right. So Melanie, talking about the reverse order, you were saying the cocktail hour, the ceremony, and then the reception. Okay, so that's the normal. No, cocktail hour before the ceremony and then the reception. Okay, got it. So yes, we've done that before. I actually did that with a couple who was having everything at one location, and just to make sure that the people who would probably be late wouldn't miss the ceremony, they did the cocktail hour first. So all they were going to miss was part of the cocktail hour, but then everybody was guaranteed to be on time for the ceremony, and then they went on to the reception as normal. So, yeah, that's a great idea, especially if you know your people. I'm just saying. Okay. Stephanie had a question. A bride considering me, my approach for a bride that's considering me as a wedding planner. Oh, I turned this around. Sorry. Let me turn you back around. There you go. Sorry about that. Hi, Mariama. I hope I said your name right, Mariama. Okay, so to hire me as a wedding planner, my approach. I'm not really sure exactly what you mean by that question, but let me just say this. I really, really think that I have something unique to add to the wedding planning process just because of my personality. I'm obviously very bubbly, sparkly. People call me sparkly instead of bubbly. I like it. It's like champagne. So I am invested in what the couple wants. So I am their advocate. So when they're hiring other people for their wedding, whether it's their photographer or their venue or whomever it may be, I'm the advocate for the couple. I am the couple's liaison. So when you can't speak for yourself, I'm there to speak for you. When you're busy getting your pictures taken during cocktail hour and the reception room is being set up, I'm the one that's in there saying that the cake needs to go on that side of the room, the DJ needs to be set up over here, etc. So I really think that I advocate, but I'm also supremely diplomatic. So I will help you to maintain your relationships with the people who are acting up at your wedding. I'm not going to do anything that would embarrass the couple who has hired me, nor am I going to do anything that is going to make their guests feel like they're being treated unfairly or unwelcome. So I hope that answered the question. I'm fun. I'm humorous. I think that when I have worked with couples, we tend to maintain relationships after their wedding. So we either are friends, or we're Facebook friends, or we stay acquainted in some way. I have some clients who repeatedly come back to me for their birthdays, their anniversaries, because we just have had such a great experience together. Okay. Any other questions that you guys have? Definitely throw them out there. I want to know how I can help you. Since I was talking about me as a wedding planner, I am going to ask those of you who are planning to get married or plan a big celebration, have you hired a professional planner? Have you really thought about hiring a professional planner? And the reason I'm asking that is because sometimes we're considered as like a last resort because the couple has already tried to plan everything themselves, and then they realize that there are some things that they can't do. Like, for example, you can't enjoy your wedding or your big party if you are also directing the show. If you have to make sure that things are set up, if you have to make sure that deliveries are coming on time, if you have to make sure that things are flowing in the order that they're supposed to flow during the event, you can't actually enjoy it. You really can't, because you're too busy worried about, is everything happening the way that it's supposed to? So think about that. Think about how much money you're investing in this celebration and whether or not you actually want to have fun too. Like, do you want to be a guest at your own event, or do you want to be working? Another thing is, do you actually have the time to search for and meet with all of the potential wedding professionals or event professionals that you need to hire? So, all right, real talk. We all have 24 hours in a day. Me, you, and Beyonce. I say that all the time. Me, you, and Beyonce, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. But most of you are probably working full-time jobs. So that takes 8 to 10 hours out of your day already, right? So now you don't have a full 24. If it's 10 hours out of your day that you're commuting to work, working, and commuting home, now you have 14 hours left. Oh, wait, we need to sleep. So subtract 8 hours for sleep. So now we have 6 hours left. You have to eat. You have to probably spend time with your family. You got to do laundry, wash the dishes, all that kind of stuff. So realistically, you have maybe 2 to 3 hours a day where you could spend planning your wedding or your big party. That's maybe not enough time for you to invest in trying to search for and hire legitimate professionals that will be the best option for you. So if you hire a planner, they'll do that work. They've already spent time networking with other wedding professionals, other event professionals. So they already know people that will fit your budget, your personality, and actually be a better option for you than maybe somebody that you find on the internet. And then how much time do you have to spend on, let's say, Pinterest and Instagram, just trying to figure out who you want to, or what you want your event to look like? So I say Pinterest is the devil. I say that because there's too many options. Once you find something that you like, all of a sudden you're distracted by the next picture that they show you at the bottom, and then you're off on a tangent. And so when all of that kind of stuff happens, you get distracted. It helps if you hire a professional to keep you focused on the vision that you originally had, or to make changes, slight changes, that will help you to kind of pull things together and create a cohesive look. Hey Danielle, I remember talking to you. How do I feel about thanking guests before dinner for joining you on your special day instead of walking around to every table? I think that is a great idea, especially if you have a really big wedding. A lot of the time, the couples don't have enough time to go and actually go to each and every table. So you end up missing people because, you know, you started out and then you got pulled away to do something like, let's say, your parent dances or cutting the cake or something. And by some chance, there were some people that you didn't get to talk to. And now those people feel like you left them out. You left them out of the mix. For whatever reason, they were forgotten, they were omitted, they feel some kind of way about it. So I think if you just take some time to take the microphone and together as a couple, say your thank yous to everybody, you got it out of the way, and that makes it just as special as if you had gone person to person. And then as throughout the night, if you do get to talk to them personally, one-on-one, it's cool. You know, they feel like that's just extra. So definitely I prefer that you like stand up together as a couple and thank everybody for being there. And thank you for asking that question, because that really does save a lot of time during the wedding day. And a lot of people don't think about that because it's not one of those, you know, normal check boxes on the list of things to do during your reception. All right, you're welcome. I want to say hey to Eric and Valerie and Marcia who have joined. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody else, but I happen to see your names pop up, so thank you so much for joining. We have just a couple more minutes because I don't want to be taking up a whole lot of your time. It's already been a half an hour. I can't believe it. We've talked, or I've talked a lot, and you've typed a lot. So thank you for all of your participation. I do want to mention some other things about wedding traditions and like new things that are coming up or things that are becoming a little bit more common, like hashtags and wedding websites and Snapchat filters and unplugging your ceremony. These are all things that, you know, have come up with just within the past maybe 10 years, maybe not even 10 years. So hashtags are when you do like the hashtag Randy's wedding 2018. And now everybody who posts their pictures from my wedding on social media will use that hashtag, and I can follow them, but other people who maybe didn't come to the wedding or other people who were at the wedding get to see everybody else's pictures. So hashtags are becoming super popular for weddings and parties and other types of events. Unplugged ceremonies are where you ask your guests not to use their phones or their iPads to take pictures during your ceremony, because you want them to be engaged in the ceremony itself. So typically your ceremony is like a half an hour, and that's when you are saying the most precious words to your significant other who's now going to become your spouse, and you want people to pay attention to that. So how many people are usually at a wedding and like holding up a phone in front of their face like this? Oh wait, let me hold up my phone. Holding up their phone in front of their face like this because they're watching your wedding on their phone, taking pictures or video, as opposed to actually being engaged. And now you've paid thousands of dollars probably to a professional photographer to take pictures of you walking down the aisle or at the altar, and all they're catching is the sea of everybody's phones and iPads and stuff in their way. So a lot of people choose to unplug the ceremony, and really they're just saying, please put your phones away, Pay attention to what's going on in front of you. We will gladly share our professional photos with you later because we know that they're going to be fabulous because we picked the best photographer. Okay. Is a wedding website a thing of the past? No, Gwen, it's not. It's actually, wedding websites are becoming a little bit more interactive and more of a necessity. So if you use a wedding website, you don't have to print so much on stationery. So you're actually going to save some money on your postage, which is great. You tell everybody to go to the wedding website to find out about hotel room blocks, to find out about other wedding weekend activities. If they're out of town guests, you can give them links to like your favorite restaurants in the city, things like that. You can also include your registry. So let's say you're registering at Bed Bath & Beyond. They can just click on the link, go to your registry, purchase the item, have it mailed to your house. They don't even have to bring the gift to your wedding. Awesome. But there's also a thing, and you'll like this because you're a travel agent, Gwen. They have honeymoon registries where people can actually find out what destination you're going to for your wedding, and they can purchase honeymoon excursions, maybe a couple's spa day, or just something simple like champagne and strawberries to be left in your room, things like that. So yeah, there's all kinds of things that you can do with your wedding website. And would the wedding planner manage the website? If you want them to, yes. I mean, this could be a DIY thing for the couple if they have time to do it, or you can have the wedding planner do it. I personally do help to design and communicate on the wedding website for a couple if they want me to. There are some couples, or even other clients of mine who have different types of parties, who like to track their RSVPs on their website. So it's not just for weddings. The wedding website started for weddings, but you can do them for bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, sweet 16s, 50th birthday parties. But yeah, you can track your RSVPs there. You can do so many things with the website, and it just makes it a lot easier to manage than getting a bunch of paper returned in the mail, or having to send out a lot of paper with all of the information and details. Melanie is asking, are guests receptive? Are guests receptive to the wedding websites? Yes. Well, let me just say the younger guests are receptive to it because that's what they know best. They use computers all day long, or they can access it on their phone and just click a button and get the information that they want. Some of the older guests, you may still need to send them the paper or call them on the phone to give them the information because they're just not computer savvy or are resistant to go into websites to get the information. All right, I'm going to wrap up here. I'm going to be back again next week. So next Wednesday. Oh, I'm sorry. You were asking if they're receptive to the unplugged ceremony. Some of them are still like, I'm going to take my pictures anyway. But most of them are respectful. They're respectful. As opposed to being receptive, they're respectful of the couple's wish that they not take pictures. But I have had to kind of tap somebody on the shoulder before and ask them to put their iPad down. And the iPad taking a picture or a video is so obnoxious because there's people behind you who can't see. They have to look at the wedding through your iPad. So, being respectful of the couple's wishes as well as the guests around you, usually most people will go ahead and do that. Okay, so as I was saying, I'm going to wrap up now. I will be back again next Wednesday. So this is going to be a live series. So if there's questions that I didn't answer for you tonight, I absolutely will answer for you next week if you tune in. And if you are interested in meeting with me in person to talk about your own special event, you can come see me at Trilogy Event Design. I'm located in Hatboro, about 10 minutes from Willow Grove Mall. Most people know where the mall is, so I use that as my landmark. Yeah, you can absolutely come back and see me next week on Facebook Live, or schedule an appointment. Go to trilogyeventdesign.com to schedule an appointment to come see me in person. All right, so for now, good night. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being interactive with me. I really, really appreciate you all being here. Toodles and smooches, best wishes and unicorn kisses. Bye-bye.